Now, our next speaker, let me first of all make this clear. I said this the last platform we did in Abuja, and Shehu alluded to this. I don't think from 2009 we have held a platform without, this is what we've done from 2009. Once we decide we're having platform, the first name we write down is Professor Yemi Osinbajo. Then after that, that is how we have done it since 2009, when it wasn't even televised, when we used to be under hot tents, right, in Tafawa Balewa Square, and we used to pray earnestly that it will not rain. He used to attend and speak for us. Professor Yemi Osinbajo is the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, sworn into office on the 29th of May 2015. He's also a senior advocate of Nigeria, professor of law until his inauguration as Vice President, a senior partner with Simon Cooper's Partners, a commercial law practice. He was appointed Lagos State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice in 1999 and reappointed for his second term in 2003. During the period of his public service, he commenced the Lagos State Justice Reform Project. A prominent feature of that project was the establishment of the Directorate for Citizens' Rights, which provides free legal services and legal representation to the indigent citizens of the state. This initiative gave a voice to many who would otherwise not have had a way to access their rights. Prior to that appointment, he was the head of public law at the Faculty of Law, University of Lagos. His Excellency Professor Yemi Osinbajo is co-founder and board member, Convention on Business Integrity, Justice Research Institute Limited, and has authored several law books. In 2007, he and his wife, Oludolapo, founded the Orderly Society of Trust, a non-governmental organization that is dedicated to the promotion of Christian ethics and orderliness. And also, he is a pastor at the Redeemed Church of God. Let us rise to our feet and welcome His Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Osinbajo.
Thank you very much. Please sit. One of the many disadvantages of being the Vice President is that you get to use a lectern that is almost taller than you. That's obviously a more efficient one on my left. But I think I must say that if you want to be Vice President, please try and attend as many platforms as possible. You might, just as Pastor Poju said, I've been attending the platform for the past 7 odd years or so. So you might need 7 years of your own before you can contest. I'm extremely honored to be here again at the platform, and I must say that the platform has through the years become possibly the foremost opportunity for ideas and intellectual innovation in Nigeria. Every year it lays out as many thought leaders of the big ideas, the aspirational heights, and the solutions that must occur in our nation's journey to its incredibly great destiny. I'd like to thank Pastor Poju and his team for their tenacity and consistency, not only in always putting together a great event, but also their unwavering belief in the capacity of our nation to surmount its problems and attain greatness. Today, I want to share with you a glimpse of an aspect of the future. But permit me to begin with a story about myself. All my adult life, I've always believed that our country was performing far below its potentials. In practically every aspect of life, in governance, corruption was always so outrageous that it made the majority poor and development almost impossible. Law and order was always a problem. Usually no consequence for wrongdoing. Doing business and even our daily existence has always been difficult. No power, no fuel. Getting anything done in government establishments, a nightmare of delay and extortion. So as a decision, as a conscious decision, I joined various pressure groups, from human rights groups to good governance advocacy groups. In 1995, I co-founded an organization called Integrity. It's an anti-corruption organization. I joined various think tanks and professional groups, including the Concerned Professionals. Under the Abacha regime, we, Concerned Professionals, one day, many gathered at Yaba bus stop in suits and were thoroughly beaten by the police and the army. From that day on, people disappeared and did not show up again, but that's another story. I served as a two-term Attorney General in Lagos State and pushed reforms in governance and justice sector. I believed and continue to believe that the Nigerian people deserve better lives. In 2014, the completely unexpected happened. I was nominated as vice presidential candidate to the then General Muhammadu Buhari. I was 27 years old when Buhari became head of state after a corrupt and somewhat disappointing civilian regime. As a young university lecturer then, I was impressed by his single-minded fight against corruption and indiscipline. There was a serious war against indiscipline. For the first time, government held corrupt officers accountable. 30 years later, Providence brought us together. A retired general now and a professor of law. We both believed that our country needed to change. We argued about how and about what needed to be done. We reached consensus on many of the major issues. Certainly, our country needs a different set of values, a new way of doing business, an economy that's able to give opportunity to young people to work in their chosen professions and to build strong and profitable businesses. We knew that we had to provide social protection for the poorest and the most vulnerable. We recognized that innovation and change would be key, and that we must implement and not just talk about diversification of our economy. So we led our party's campaign on that single, simple, but profound word, change. Nearly a year on, there are many problems, and many have asked, where is the change? Is this the change we voted for? Even some fifth columnists in our midst have suggested bring back corruption. But let me just say here for the record that the government of Muhammadu Buhari is completely and irrevocably committed to change.